Hello, this is Todd Luck, and this is a review of Zorro in the Land That Time Forgot from American Mythology. This is the first issue in a 4-issue miniseries, and it crosses over two properties that American Mythology does comics for. The Land That Time Forgot, which is a Edgar Rice Burroughs creation. Edgar Rice Burroughs, of course, being the creator of Tarzan and John Carter, and American Mythology puts out comics of his lesser-known creations like At the Earth's Core and The Land of Time Forgot, Moon Maid, Monster Men, and Carson of Venus. And of course we have Zorro, who is, well, Zorro. And so let's take a look at this cover. And so I like it. This is by Roy Allen Martinez, who is knocking it out of the ballpark, drawing Monster Men for American Mythology, and he apparently is doing a lot of covers, and this one is nice. Zorro is well rendered, he looks awesome, and you know, we get dinosaurs in the background and this cool looking flying ship that kind of lets you know how they're going to get into the Land that Time Forgot. And it's just really cool looking, very attractive cover. So the interiors are by Alessandro Rinaldi, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I couldn't find any information about previous comics done by this artist, so this may be the first comic book this person has done, and if so, good job. This is fantastic. It's kind of simple, you know, kind of simplified, stylized art, but it looks very, very nice. There's solid storytelling and layout, and the characters are well rendered, and again, it's just a pleasant looking comic. The artist does great backgrounds and detail when needed. The line work is a little thick, but the prehistoric creatures look nice. And Zorro looks nice as well, I mean, which is, of course, a requirement for a Zorro comic. The first issue is basically build-up. It's kind of too early to tell where they're going with the story, but what it does in a very solid way in keeping with the source material. It's basically establishing characters and getting them to the Land that Time Forgot. And as you can see when I showed you the art, it does get Zorro to the Land that Time Forgot by the end of the issue, which is kind of the goal here. So if you don't know anything about Zorro, you're not going to learn a whole lot from this comic, but I don't think you really need to, especially on this first issue. They may give us an origin or some backstory and more context later in the series. But honestly, Zorro is kind of one of those pulp era heroes that really, you know, is easy to pick up on, and we don't necessarily need his background to know why he's there. He's a well-to-do guy with a certain set of skills who decides to put on a costume and fight for justice as a vigilante, similar to the Shadow or the Spider or Batman nowadays. So, you know, that sort of character, you know, we don't really need an origin to understand their motivations, and it just makes them very easy to pick up. And so even though this issue is just set up and I can't really tell where it's going yet, I would still recommend it because we've got solid art, solid writing, and I think just a real demonstration of competency that leads me to believe the rest of this miniseries is going to be good, you know, especially when you look at how good the other Land that Time Forgot comics are from American Mythology. And, you know, and while it is set up, it doesn't feel like there's any wasted time. It feels like everything it does is necessary for the story. And it also gets you to the Land that Time Forgot by the end of the issue. If Burroughs did this as a novel, he would have started it out with a nautical journey to get them there that would have established the characters. And I think that's perfectly a good thing to do with a story like this. And I just want to throw in a fun fact before I leave here. This is not the first time that the Land that Time Forgot has had a crossover with another property. If you can believe it, Russ Manning actually did Tarzan in the Land that Time Forgot. And if you love the American Mythology stuff, this is also really, really good. Russ Manning is one of the kings of this industry. And it's reprinted in a Dark Horse trade paperback, and this is a children's book that's reprinting the story, and it's really wonderful. It's oversized and all that good stuff. So I just wanted to throw that in there. And another thing I want to note is that if you won't American mythology comics like Zorro or The Land That Time Forgot or any of that, at least at my comic shop, you need to special order them. You know, they don't carry them on the shelf, but they're glad to order them for you and get them for you. My comic shop actually skipped me on this first issue, but they were more than happy to reorder it, and it got to me, and I'm very glad that I got to read it and review it. So, like I said, go to your local comic shop, ask for them to order American Mythology comics, or you can go on American Mythology's website and order them from there as well. So that's it. Like and subscribe for more videos, and until next time, 2020 is not all bad. We get a comic book with Zorro stabbing dinosaurs with his sword. See ya.